Hi, I'm Eric Siegel with ericstrains.com. Today we are going to forget about scale realism for a bit and just have some fun. We're going to be taking a look at a new twist on an old favorite. This is the new command control equipped Tie-Jector car and Tie work car from Lionel. Alright, so what we've got here is two separately sold items, the command control Tie-Jector car and then the Tie work car. Now, they're sold separately, but they're sort of meant to go together, not only because they look good together, but because there's also a functionality component there. The work car actually helps the Tie-Jector car function more reliably, and I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. So the Tie-Jector car, of course, is based on the original number 55 Tie-Jector car that Lionel manufactured in the post-war years between 1957 and 1961. Now, it's been reissued a few times over the years. I know they did a version back in 1997, and I think they did one in 2001, and they probably did a couple others that I don't know about offhand. The big difference here is that the new Tie-Jector car, of course, comes with Tmcc command control. So now you can run the car and activate the car via the Legacy or Tmcc remote. Now, for those of you who may be unfamiliar with the Tie-Jector car, here's how it works. Up on top, we've got a couple of bins full of little wooden ties. They look like that. They're made of real wood. And we've got about 8 on this side. These are just here for storage. And then we've got another 8 or 10 right here. This is where the action happens. When the car is activated, those ties are ejected out of the side of the car right here through this slot, and they fall to the side of the track. It's pretty cool. And then presumably at some later time, a track crew would come by and install those ties where they needed to be. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, the original Tie-Jector car did not come with the work car that you see here. This is a new addition, and it was added for a very good reason, which I'll get into later. But for right now, what we're going to do is check out the Tie-Jector car, then we'll check out the work car, then after that, we'll power these things up and take them for a spin around the layout. So here's a close-up of the side we've been looking at, and it looks nice. Again, this is not a high-end model. If you're one of those people who likes to count rivets, you are in the wrong place. Simplicity is the key word here. Most everything on this vehicle is plastic, except for maybe the couplers and the wheels and so forth. We've got some brake detailing down here by the wheels. The paint job is perfect, looks great. We do have some rivet detailing on the ribs, but don't count them. And then over here we've got the Built by Lionel stamp. On the front side we've got some nice looking safety striping and some venting down below. There's an operating headlight in the middle, and that headlight can be turned on and off from the Legacy or Tmcc remote. We've got some windows up here. There is no plastic in the windows or anything. It's very simple, just like the post-war number 55. And then, of course, in the cab, we've got a post-war inspired blue figure. Here's the other side of the car, and of course, the only difference here is that there is no ejection slot on this side. And here's the back side. It looks great. We've got some really cool safety striping going on, and then the great looking Norfolk Southern logo up here. Got a plastic handrail, and then here's a bonus feature. This is an Electro Coupler that can be thrown from the Legacy or Tmcc remote. Although if you use the Tie-Jector car with the work car, you're probably not going to want to use this. Now, above the coupler, there's a socket for an electrical tether that's included with the Tie-Jector car when you buy it. That lets you connect the Tie-Jector car to the work car. I'll talk more about that in just a moment. Here's a look at the top of the Tie-Jector car. Up front, we've got a cute little plastic horn, which is a nice touch. And then we've got the 2 bins. Now again, the front bin is just for storage. So you take the wooden ties, it holds 8, and you just stick them in there like that. Looks nice. The rear bin, of course, is for the ties that will be ejected out of the side of the car, and you can see some of the mechanism that makes that possible right here. Now, from what I understand, the guys at Lionel worked very hard to get the operation of this mechanism as reliable as possible. Now, is it perfect? Of course not. It's a mechanical apparatus. It will jam up from time to time, or it might need a little help. but by and large, in my experience so far, it's been very, very reliable. Anyway, to load ties into this side of the car, it's just like over here. Just drop them in, make sure they're not crooked, and you should be fine. Like that. Here's a quick look at the underside. We've got 2 pickup rollers, and then there's 1 traction tire on one of these wheels. Now, one neat thing is that they've still got kind of an old school stamping down here. It says number 55 Tie-Jector, manufactured by Lionel, Chesterfield, Michigan, US of America, and then of course they've got the Made in China stamp down there. Pretty cool. Okay, that takes care of the Tie-Jector car, at least for now. So now let's take a look at the Tie work car, which again is sold separately. The construction of the work car is pretty much all plastic except for the trucks, the wheels, the couplers, and the brake wheel. Those are all metal. Here's a close-up of the cabin. Most of the details are molded into the body, but it still looks pretty nice. The interior of the cab is illuminated, which is a nice touch. And another nice touch is that all of the windows are frosted, like you see here, so that when you look at the car, you see light coming out of the windows, but you can't look in and see wires and a light bulb and all that ugly stuff. Here's a look at the backside. All of these handrails and ladders and so forth are all plastic, but it looks okay. Looking down, you can see we've got some detailing on the roof of the cabin, a simulated deck down here, and then of course we've got these wooden ties, and these are packaged with the work car when you buy it. And then you've got some extra space here if you want to put some crew figures or some other gear. Right here on the cabin, we've got some marker lights or work lights or what have you. These are purely decorative. They do not work, but that's okay. Again, we're not dealing with a high-end model here. On the underside here, we've got 2 pickup rollers, 1 per truck. Now, these pickup rollers are important because these are what help the Tie-Jector car function more reliably. So let's talk about that now. Alright, so as I said, there's a socket on the Tie-Jector car, and then we've got a socket right here on the work car, and there's one on the other side as well, so you can actually do this regardless of what direction the work car is facing. Now, packaged with both the Tie-Jector car and the work car is an electrical tether that looks like this. And this will go between the work car and the Tie-Jector car. So let's go ahead and hook that up. So we'll come in here with our tether, and there's only one way this plug will go in, so it's idiot-proof. You can't get it wrong. There we go. Okay, now let's couple the work car to the Tie-Jector car, like that. And now we will proceed to plug the other end of the tether into the Tie-Jector car. Now I am left-handed and I'm having to do this with my right hand and at a weird angle, so this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. Let's see if I can get it. Alright, there we go. Okay, the cars are now connected together. Big deal. What does that mean? Does it add any more features? No. As I said, what it does is it improves the reliability of the Tie-Jector car and the work car as well. Now, why is that? Well, let's pretend for a moment that there is no tether between these 2 cars, that they are independent cars. Well, on the Tie-Jector car here, the center rail power is taken from these 2 rollers, and the outer rail power is taken from these 3 wheels. Not this wheel because it's got a traction tire on it. These rollers are only spaced about 2 or 3 inches apart. That's not a lot of real estate. And if this Tie-Jector car was to go over a couple of back-to-back switches or even some dirty track, it could potentially lose power for just a split second, which would cause the car to stall, and that would end your fun. Now, that is not a design flaw in the Tie-Jector car, it's just a fact of life. This is a very small piece, and there's only so much electrical real estate you're going to get with these 2 rollers. So how do you fix that? Well, the answer is that you increase the size of your electrical footprint. That's where the tether comes in. Over on the work car, we've got 2 more rollers, and we've got a whole bunch of wheels that are drawing power from the outer rails. So, if we connect them together, now all 4 rollers are connected together and all 11 wheels are now connected together. So, in a sense, the Tie-Jector car now has 4 center rollers and 11 outer rail wheels. That greatly improves the reliability. Now, these can go through a couple of switches or some dirty track, and you're not going to notice it because you've got a larger electrical footprint going on. That's what it's all about. To better illustrate what I'm talking about, I've got a volt-ohm meter here that is set to test for continuity. So if I touch the leads together, you can see we get a full needle swing, which means we've got a completed circuit. So if I touch one of the leads to one of these rollers on the Tie-Jector car and the other lead to the other roller, we get a full swing, as we should. Now watch what happens because of the tether. If I touch one lead to one of the rollers on the Tie-Jector car and touch the other lead to this roller on the work car, we also get a full swing because all of these rollers are connected together. And it's the same for the outer wheels. If I touch this lead to the outer wheel on the Tie-Jector car and then touch the outer wheel lead on the work car, there we go. So as you can see, the tether was a great idea by Lionel, and it's really nice to see them doing stuff like that these days, really kind of thinking ahead, because I guarantee you if the extra work car was not available, they would be getting emails and calls and all sorts of complaints about the Tie-Jector car because people would be saying, hey, this thing stinks, it keeps on dying on my layout. With the available work car, that eliminates that problem and you get much more reliable operation. Now, does that mean that you have to buy the work car in order to enjoy the Tie-Jector car? Of course not. You can run the Tie-Jector car by itself on your layout and it may work just fine, or it may not. And if it doesn't, that's where the work car comes into play. Now, when I bought the Tie-Jector car, I didn't know these two went together like they do, and so I just bought the Tie-Jector car by itself. It wasn't until I took it out of the box and saw that socket that I began to think, you know, maybe there's more to this than meets the eye, and I went back and revisited the catalog, and then I went to the train store and bought the work car so that I could get the most reliable operation out of this great operating car. So in summary, is the work car required? No. But would I recommend getting it? Yeah. Okay, the last thing we're going to do before we start the Tie-Jector car up is BFIMO, best feature in my opinion. I thought about picking the fact that the Tie-Jector car comes with Tmcc as the best feature because that's really the main reason why I bought it. I would not have purchased this car had it been conventional. But I'm actually going to pick the electrical tether between the Tie-Jector car and the work car as the best feature because that was a very smart move by Lionel. It results in much more reliable operation out of the Tie-Jector car, and without that, you know, I think a lot of people might be complaining about the Tie-Jector car dying on switches and so forth, so it was very smart. And again, it's something that Lionel is doing very well lately. They're thinking about their products and saying, you know, the electrical footprint on this product is too small. How can we increase it? They did it with the B6 switcher, and now they've done it with the Tie-Jector car. So best feature is the electrical tether. All right, we've got power to the track, and you can see our headlight is on, and the lights back in the work caboose are on as well. I'm going to be running this with my Legacy remote. Now, there are only a few keys that you need to run this thing. There's what would be the 8 and 9 key. The 8 key will turn the tie ejection off. The 9 key turns it on. There's the aux 2 key, which turns the headlight off and then on. And then there's the rear coupler, which fires the coupler back here. Now, I'm not going to fire it because I've got it connected up to our work car today. But if you wanted to fire the coupler, you could do that. Now, in terms of programming the Tie-Jector car into your Legacy or Tmcc remote, there really isn't much to it because this is not equipped with Legacy, so it doesn't have a Legacy module or anything like that. It is straight Tmcc, so all you have to do is flip the Run Program switch to Program. That switch is on the underside of the Tie-Jector car. Assign it an ID in your Tmcc or Legacy remote, and then put it back into Run. And that's all there is to it. Alright, let's go ahead and eject some ties, and just to clarify, here's my Legacy remote. I'm talking about these two keys, 8 and 9. Now, the mode that I have it in right now, it's got a minus and a plus, But if I had this in cab 1 mode, or if this was a classic Tmcc remote or a cab 1L, then these would be 8 and 9. 9 turns it on, 8 turns it off. So let's go ahead and turn it on and watch some of the ties come out. There we go. Now sometimes it'll get jammed up a little bit, but it will usually fix itself. There we go, nice and smooth. Let's try it again close up. One thing I like about this is that it's not very loud. It's got a very quiet sound to it. Now, of course, the best way to see the Tie-Jector car in action is in motion. So I've got it way down there, and we're going to bring it forward and start shooting some ties out. Now, you've seen the Tie-Jector car pulling the work car, and it might be able to pull maybe 2 or 3 lightweight cars at most, but it's really not meant for pulling a train. The last thing I'm going to show you is the Trackmobile at full speed, both in forward and reverse. Alright, that about does it for this review. This is a great little set that's a whole lot of fun, and you know, the key to enjoying the Tie-Jector car and the work car is to simply turn off the part of your brain that cares about scale realism and things being prototypical, and turn on the part of your brain that is the childlike part, the part with the imagination and the ability to let go and just have some fun. That's what this is all about. Now, if you're interested in purchasing either the Tie-Jector car or the work car, the retail price on the Tie-Jector car is right at $200, and the retail price on the work car is right at $75. And again, keep in mind, those are retail prices. If you go through a good Lionel dealer, you should be able to get a little bit of a discount off those retail prices. And as always, if you're looking for a good Lionel dealer, try my favorite train store, which is Legacy Station. You can find them on the web at www.legacystation.com, or give them a call at 770-339-7780. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm Eric Siegel, and I'll see you next time. To discuss this model or any other O-Gauge trains and to meet other O-Gauge modelers, check out the O-Gauge Railroading Magazine online forum at ogrforum.ogaugerr.com.